Thanks everyone for being here and listening. I'm speaking on behalf of the National Farmers Union, and I just want to say that with everything that everyone has spoken about, it's great, but I want to remind everybody too that we're not just facing a climate crisis. We're actually facing a confluence of many crises, and all of which intersect with agriculture. We are facing a soil crisis, and in fact, the FAO and the USDA and many other organizations are warning us and have been warning us that our topsoil is slated to run out in about, well, between 60 to 150 years, depending on who you believe. And obviously, we're also facing a biodiversity crisis, as well as antibiotic winter, which is the bacterial resistance to all of our antibiotics. And in fact, in China right now, they've discovered that there is a bacterial resistance to our strongest antibiotic that we currently have. And then, of course, there is the refugee crisis, which will only be worsened with the climate change and everything else. And as well, we are facing our own farming crisis, which is independent of everything, all of the other crises, and yet intersects obviously with all those crises as well. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of it comes down to how we do our agriculture. Our industrial agricultural complex, which is geared towards export agriculture and not for domestic need, is driving a lot of these crises. And so therefore, agriculture is the lever, I believe, through which we can enact a lot of the systemic changes that we need to enact in order to address all of these. I was originally going to summarize the National Farmers Union report on tackling the farm crisis and the climate crisis, but I'm not going to do that because it's a very dense and comprehensive report. I will instead put into the chat the link, and I encourage everybody to read it, and I encourage everybody please to share it as widely as you can. Share it with your friends, family, co-workers, and especially with your political representatives, because I don't think that they're hearing from the right voices. I think that just to briefly talk about the main point of the report is that we need to get away from industrial modes of production, whether it's in agriculture or anything else, because that is what is driving a lot of these crises as well, is not just our particular practices, but the scale on which we do it. And it's that scale that requires us to basically wreak as much destruction as we can. And so therefore we need to step back from that industrial scale and look at more localized ways of doing things, even if it means that it's less efficient, because less efficient means that we're not making money from it, and rather that we're tending instead to the life-generating processes of nature. So basically, whatever we can do, we need to inconvenience ourselves, discomfort ourselves, so that today's children and those who are waiting to be born can have some shot at a tolerable future. And however way we can do that and convince our political representatives to do that, you know, we just need to get on with it now. Thank you.